Broadcasting from the Vancouver Convention Center in British Columbia, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2022, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software.
This is Doug Atkinson here in Vancouver, British Columbia at the FME User Conference 2022, and we are joined by the major sales players at Safe Software, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they know why.
Yeah, hi, I'm Craig Vernon. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer.
Yeah, and I'm Dave Patterson. I'm the Director of Sales.
Well, thanks for being here, and I appreciate your patience. It has been a long show for us, but we've talked to so many people. And truth be told, after talking to all of the folks that we've talked to about how amazing the product is, I have to say, you guys must have the easiest job in the entire organization.
That's what people always think. Yes.
Because honestly, I mean, it's like every partner's growing. I saw the plenary yesterday. The company's growing. I mean, well done. First of all, I know it's not that easy, but you guys are
been a long, steady growth.
Yeah.
So Dave and I we met at Safe Software 22 years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the other story we keep hearing is how long everybody has been in the organization, both partners and employees.
Yeah, and Dave left and stayed in the. Well, I'll let you talk.
Sure. I mean, I've been in the industry for about 23 years, and I left to work with one of our larger partners, and came back about 5 years ago to lead our sales team.
Yeah, great. And things are going well.
Very well, thank you. Yes.
So what is what would you say right now is the direction you're headed with sales as you're talking to existing customers?
Yep.
Talking to prospects? I mean, what is the story that you're really trying to
Well, the story traditionally has been that we are in the GIS departments, and our technology, of course, has evolved, and our solution is evolving, and now we're bringing the power of spatial outside of the GIS departments into the enterprise and throughout an entire organization. So, we have thousands of loyal customers, and what's exciting for us is that every one of them can move a product that they've had for many, many years, solving extremely difficult problems, and use that same technology throughout the rest of their organization. So
yeah, just to echo that, for us, initially it was about solving technical issues, and while we still do that for our customers, solving the technical challenges, it's now really about solving enterprise business problems.
And that's a significant change, right? And it actually coincides neatly with I would say a corporate cultural change where people are getting more comfortable with moving their data into the cloud, and I think decision makers might be getting a little younger and a little less stuck
and also a lot of our power users, so to speak, from the early days now have senior C-level positions, and they're not in the weeds anymore, and so that helps us as well, and a lot of this is getting the word out. A lot of our existing customers have been using us for so long, they think that they know exactly where we sit, and our messaging is now to help them understand that, wow, we can take whatever they're doing with our platform and expand it throughout their enterprise.
And so I'm assuming you have maybe a couple of teams going, maybe some farmers and some hunters. I mean, is that how you're thinking about it? Account management and
Yeah, we've actually broken things down. We have it broken down geographically. We have it broken down by market, so we support our customers through our government and our utilities team and our transportation teams locally within North America, and then through our channel teams, we support our partners who sell globally. And
so, what is the story that you're telling folks that are just coming to FME? I know you've got an incredibly loyal customer base, and actually some of the folks that we've talked to have brought you in multiple times over. They kind of move to another organization, and the first phone call they make is to you guys, which again makes your job too easy.
We absolutely love it when people move organizations and bring us along.
Yeah, exactly. You watch those LinkedIn changes, and it's like, ring them up.
And honestly, that's a testament not only to the product. We clearly build a world-class product, but we have a restaurant model at Safe Software. We've had it for many, many years, and that is, if you go to a restaurant and you have fantastic food, but the service isn't that great, you'll probably think twice before you go back. Same if you go to the restaurant and the service is fantastic, but the food isn't great quality. Right. So at Safe Software, it's all about, the product is great, but the service has to be fantastic. And our support, our resources are world class. And that is we have customers that have been with us for 20, 30 years. We don't lose customers. We never have. Like, I can't think of a customer in my 22 years that have left.
Is that right?
Yep. And sometimes someone leaves, and then, of course, the product is sitting there, but we figure that out and help them. But organizations do not leave our platform. Yeah. And that is, it's not just the product, it's the support that we provide, and that support is joined on the sales team as well. So.
Well, and in talking to the co-founders, Dale and Don, yesterday, one of the things that we heard consistently is the idea of land and expand, that was their kind of mantra, and they believe that's, I'm sure, what they've kind of passed along.
And that goes back to our history of really getting into what we call like the GIS departments, the technical side of the business, and then the expansion to the business units, to the IT organizations within our customer base. So really, we don't yet have a customer that's saturated with our technology. So we have customers that have, in some cases, hundreds of use cases for our technology, and there's still plenty of room to grow.
Yeah. And so that land and expand early on was just within the GIS department, and so that was a great model. But now it's like turbocharged because now it's expand throughout an entire enterprise.
Well, and so that's probably a lot of what you spend your time on, and probably the marketing department as well, is as you mentioned earlier, selling that vision of where you can take it beyond spatial, and really making it kind of a mainstream platform that they can bring in all kinds of projects against.
Yes? Absolutely, and our partners are following our lead here. We've had at this show, the first day was on the Monday was our partner day, our partner summit for the partners, and so again, it's just furthering that conversation, and they're as excited as we are about that ability.
Helping along that journey.
Yeah, exactly.
That we've been
and one thing that
now.
we don't do services. We're an organization that probably 15 years ago, we decided we don't want to be doing services. We want to focus our energies in building the best platform we can. Yep. And I would always argue that if you see a software organization that has a strong services group, their product probably isn't as good as it could be. And so the other side of it for us, we love it because we're not competing with our partners. So, for Dave and I, when we work with our partners, we're not trying to make money with or from our partners. We're trying to make money with our partners, and so there's not the competition that you might get in other industries. And so it's made, again, our partners are loyal as well. We've had partners that have been with us for 25 years.
Again, it's incredible. I don't think we've seen any organization with such long-term partners. I mean, granted, the co-founders got started in the early 90s, which leads to it, but it almost immediately, I mean, within the first 5 or 7 years, people were recognizing what they were doing as
industry
something to get on board with.
And early on, and we still do, but we've always solved extremely hard problems that no other platform can solve.
Well, and actually, I think it was Don who said that he always felt that they had solved the hardest problem first.
Yeah. Yeah.
and so now everything's kind of like, well, let's just see what the market wants to do, and we'll develop that.
Yes.
We like to call these the difficult systems, the engineering type systems that we support. So now we're finding, after we get through those difficult challenges, working with organizations, working with platforms such as things like Salesforce and Workday, they're much easier for us to tackle.
And so, I mean, let's talk through the process. So, so how do folks engage? So somebody wants to have a conversation or begin to test. I mean, what would you recommend that they do in order to just get started? I mean, is it download a trial?
First of all, how are people coming to us? I mean, initially, it was a lot of outreach. It was a lot of conferences, and what we're actually seeing in a lot of places, it's this critical mass of organizations that have adopted our technology. And in many cases, our customers are selling to our other customers just because of the passion that they have and the solutions that we provided.
So are you looking at community activity? I mean, that sort of thing?
Part of the conference here today was we had sessions on local government and utilities where we brought like-minded people together and they can share their success. So certainly community-based selling is very important to us.
And so what do you recommend they do to kind of get the ball rolling? Is it join the community in the beginning and see if they can connect to people and see if there's similar...
I mean, honestly, the best way is to engage with us or with our partners and have a conversation. I mean, it is a product that's very deep and very wide, and you can't do deep and wide at the same time, especially if you're just starting out. And so ultimately, it's starting with a conversation. What are your challenges? And this is how we can help. Often we'll do a proof of concept. Even though we don't have services, we don't do paid services, our support goes above and beyond what most software vendors would offer.
And so you'll move all the way down the path of a proof of concept?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, for us, it's the best. As a sales tool, it's fantastic. I can't think of a time we've done a proof of concept where the customer did not take on our platform. Sometimes they will go in a different direction, but they've always come back because it didn't work. And so a proof of concept is a wonderful way of doing it.
Especially when we come across new business systems.
Yes.
There are unlimited business systems out there in the world. So there's unlimited potential.
Yeah, so you have a business system we don't quite connect yet. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure out how we can connect it, do a little proof of concept, prove that point. And then it gives you something to go to your upper management to say, let's engage with this organization on a
build a
further
business
basis.
case. Yeah. And so do they come to you with a kind of a smaller project or scope in mind, and that's kind of what you kind of hone them down and kind of
then
in that conversation?
I mean, in a lot of cases with the industries that we work in, there's a lot of repeatable business problems. Like if you look at local government, a city, they all have the same challenges regardless of where they are in the world. They all have to fix potholes. They all have to deliver water and services to the citizens.
Yeah, everyone has a call before you dig type of scenario, right?
And so we built these solutions and we're able to replicate them around the world. So that's led to great success.
So I know you guys are killing it in utilities and government organizations, airports. We talked to
transportation.
Education.
Yeah. So where are some markets that you're excited to and as you kind of see emerging for you guys?
I mean, for myself, I'll jump in and I'd say we've long had a great history with education in terms of our grant program, providing free licenses for teaching and research purposes. Where we're actually now looking at working with educational institutions like large universities. They operate as essentially small cities, so they have to maintain all of their own infrastructure, which is a great opportunity for us, but also on the student management side of their business. All of the systems for learning management, for managing the finances, and for the...
It's incredible.
For
the opportunities there. You can get into all of that.
And one thing that Dave really helped us with when he came back was introduce the idea of a subscription. We were working and fighting internally on how we can best bring a subscription business model. And I think where we were failing initially was we looked at it like it was a product, whereas Dave came in and realized it's a business model. And we introduced industry-based subscriptions. So if your city is based on your population, and then there's a maximum, but it's all you can eat of our platform. And so that makes it much easier to pay for the access to our full platform, knowing that you, as a city, if you're this size of a city, all the other cities are also at the same level. So there's less risk that a city is getting gouged or what have you. We've done the same thing with utilities based on customers. We have an education based on students. Airports is based on traffic through the airport. So
public safety.
Public safety,
Law enforcement.
And so we're constantly bringing new ones. And honestly, our goal here is to expand the deployment of our platform. And as we do that, then that's why we're getting steady growth year over year.
So an event like this, which has been a long time coming, I know, what do you guys get out of it? I mean, how have you been spending your time?
Good question.
Well, so it's like probably tenfold. It started with the partner day. So some super long-term partners, which personally I haven't seen for years. So that's fantastic.
Get reacquainted.
All organizations over the last few years have changed in many ways.
Yes, I
not just how they're doing business, but so we're all stick handling that. So now it's time to come together and talk about our successes and failures through that, and how do we come out of it. But it's also, personnel changes. A lot of our partners, and we're no different. People have moved on,
Yep.
and for us, we have new teams. We've expanded just the sheer number of employees since the last time we had a partner summit, and so there's a large sales staff and marketing staff that has never met our partners in person. So, and in fact, we had, I think, 120 staff or 117 staff. The last user conference was 2017.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, and now we're double. Like on the sales and marketing team, there was only, I think, 3 or 4 of us that have been here for a past user conference. I mean, Dave attended as a partner.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But not as a so.
Well done, by the way.
Yeah, so that was the
powering
first,
through that whole pandemic.
We went through it stronger, and our vow was when we come out of this, we're going to come out stronger, and I think we've hit it out of the park, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And we're an organization that we're not looking for, I think Dave and I would like explosive growth, but at the same time, we're an organization that does best with steady, strong growth, because our culture is
There's nothing wrong with that.
Vital. And, for us, 22 years, the steady Eddie is what has allowed us to
Very
absorb
consistent.
the growth,
Rent out a place like this, bring a bunch of folks in.
Exactly, and absorb the people coming in. And
That's great.
And it allows us to evolve our culture as we move forward. So that was like first order of business. Second order for myself was getting up to speed with all of our customers, because we've made lots of changes with our business models. We've had lots of new customer stories, new success. Our solutions are changing, and so it's getting that message out to our existing customer base. We have a lot of new customers here as well, and so our message is just, this is the value that we're bringing, and how can we help you? So you see over in the we have an area that's a solution lounge and all of our technical resources are there. So our attendees can come in and talk on the technical side, but the sales group is there as well to talk about, okay, so let's figure out where are we at? What's your growth? What is there opportunities? How can we help you?
Yeah, it's got to be eye-opening.
Yeah, it is. It is, right? And this is new for everyone in a way, right? We've all forgot how to, all these little idiosyncrasies.
Well, you get that organic interaction.
Exactly.
That's, very impromptu and spontaneous.
And
I think, even just sitting down at lunch and breakfast and having people plop down next to you and introduce themselves, and all of a sudden you're off having a nice conversation about something you never imagined. You can't replicate that virtually.
Yes.
That's great.
You can't. I mean, we tried, we have a world tour where we travel all over, try to bring a little bit of this, a tiny piece of this to customers who can't come. And we've done it virtually, and it's just
not the same.
Yeah.
It's basically it pushes out content, but it's not the same.
I have to say there are a number of customers here. I sat through a whole number of presentations over the last few days. Customers that we engaged with 3 years ago, and initially sold them some software, and it's just wonderful to see where they've come in those last few years with the solutions that they've been deploying, and that's a great joy for us to see that evolution from the initial contact to the actual problems being solved.
So last question for me, and I always ask this of everybody, and we actually then put together a compilation of all the answers, so think carefully about your answer. But you guys will have them. What is one piece of advice you would offer to somebody who is thinking about going to the next level with data integration, thinking about a platform approach? How should they be thinking about it before they reach out? So should they think about having a project in mind? Should they be thinking about what data they have or don't have? Or should they just come in kind of with their,
honestly, that's what we do. Come to us. We're all about digging in, doing discoveries, finding out really what the organizational challenges are that we can help solve. So engage with us.
So don't hesitate at all.
We're like an open book. Both
That's
Dave,
exactly the answer I was expecting.
Both Dave and I have had conference calls at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It's like totally fine. I mean, we have partners globally, so they'll bring us on and work with their clients, and so like engage. That's what we're looking for. This is what we do, and so I mean, we're an open book, right? So.
Outstanding. Well, this has been a pleasure. Thanks for coming by. I apologize for if I couldn't get things started the way.
Thanks so much for having us.
We didn't make it easy on you. Sorry. We.
It's always fun to talk to the guys who are making a company grow.
And, we're having a ball, to be honest.
It sounds like it. And honestly, it sounds like everybody is. Partners, customers, all the
people
executives.
Often ask me how could you be here for so long? Right, and it's always the same answer, and it sounds a bit cliche, but I've never had a Sunday afternoon where I was a little bit, I got work tomorrow, and I've never woke up on a Monday not raring to go to come in and work at Safe Software. So, I mean, as long as that's happening,
it's great.
Like, seriously, right? So it's a fun place. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're not doing organ transplants, right? We're solving hard problems, but we don't take ourselves too serious.
It's a very solid culture. Everybody seems to be really enjoying it. I think Don said something in the plenary about data is fun.
It is fun. Yes,
we're excited for the next step.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So you do a lot of these types of events, or
we used to.
Okay.
This is actually our first one that we've gotten to do since we got back from the pandemic. So we were doing a lot of them.
Sure.
And then they all went away.
Virtual or pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
The live ones.
What do you see the difference with this event versus past events that you've worked? In general?
Honestly, I think the most notable things that we've picked up on it is the length of loyalty. It really is remarkable. I mean, almost every partner we talk to, when we ask how long they've been a partner, it said 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is just unheard of. I mean, you just don't see that. And then, for me, it was talking to Dale and Don. I mean, it's funny because I interviewed them separately.
Yeah.
And I interviewed Dale first, and the first thing he said, well, Don's really the star. Don, Don. And then I interviewed Don, and he's like, really, it's Dale. And it's like, well, that's why you guys have been together for so long. It's like, it's almost.
Great appreciation
I didn't
for each
ask
other.
him, and I'm going to ask him next conference when they have us back. I'm going to ask them, what do they think has kept them, going for so long without, killing each other, because that's usually what happens.
I think they have a healthy respect for each other, and they're having fun.
Yeah. And that permeates all the way down the organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like that, they're the way that they are with each other. Giving credit to each other. That's the way our leaders are. And we have an org chart. When Dave and I were first at Safe Software, the org chart would have been Dale and Don, and then a handful of others. Now we don't want to necessarily be corporate, but we are definitely more corporate.
You're growing up.
We're growing up. But I will say
that,
we do have an org chart, and there is lots of levels, but it's an org chart of responsibility. It's not an org chart of authority, and we take that seriously. And I think that's a difference maker for Safe Software as we grow.
Yeah, no, we've had a great time, and honestly, it's been eye-opening because we cover a lot of spaces in enterprise technology. Solutions Review covers everything, including data integration, and Safe Software has been in a very specific kind of niche.
Yep.
In kind of, I think even Gartner considers that.
Yeah.
And it's just been great to come out and see what that niche is around spatial and where that can lead to, because it's really, some of the implementations are just...
It's mind-boggling,
they're
to be honest.
Shockingly important.
Yeah, we're a niche within a niche, right? But then that niche keeps getting bigger, and then for us, we're stepping outside that niche.
When you start measuring climate change and social, social initiatives like climate action, that's legitimately
well, and check out our
cool.
grant program. We give free software to organizations that are doing good.
Right.
Whether it's obviously nonprofits or, but the success stories there, they swell your heart. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, we've given, I think, 7,000 licenses, millions and millions of dollars worth. But it's, you know, that's what we're all about, right? When, you know, Don and Dale, we've given a lot to charity, to our local hospital. And that again is, their message is when Safe Software is doing good, we want to do good. Because, you never know what happens in the future, but no one can say that, you know, as a company, we didn't do good when we were doing good. So that kind of sums us up in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, well done. Thanks very much for swinging by. We've enjoyed our time. And
sorry for tripping you up at the beginning.
That was a lot of fun.
It was fun for us.
Oh, well, best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having us.